The who of the Indonesia said that Singapore is part of Indonesia, and the big fat liar, cunning, scheming who have been trying to distort relationship in the world among people, distort relationship in Asia, and deceiving the Malaysians to vote Mahathir, who said that Singapore is part of Malaysia. I want to say to him, he is full of bullshit. Bullshit. He's nothing but cows drinking urine. Singapore is not like Taiwan, which is not recognized as an independent country officially by the world. Singapore is already an independent country, recognized that Malaysia used to despise long time ago. So the Mahathir is what the fuck, man? What the fuck is Mahathir? Cow drinking urine. When Singapore was nothing a long time ago before independence, he was the one threw Singapore away. And now he wanted to claim Singapore back to be part of Malaysia after Singapore has prospered. This is despicable. Now look at what Malaysian government has done to their own country and their own people. People over there are suffering and living very badly. The country is getting poorer and poorer, and more people are getting homeless. Crime and more crimes, that people are living in fear of murder, rape, drugs and robbery, and the country is globally well known for its corruption. If you ask anyone on the street about this, they will either keep quiet or say the government is really corrupt. They are full of lies and cheating to deceive ordinary citizens into stupidly voting for them. Oh, Mahathir. Oh, throw away Najib. Oh, that what? Coalition. That stupid harapan. Thus, Malaysia is nothing but a messy and rotten country under an unclean and dirty government that even the PM could be changed many times. Unstable political environment, poor governing system, bad things always happen, and citizens are not protected. What Malaysia and what democracy? Only stupid people will believe that Malaysia is democratic. If one day Singapore surrenders to Malaysia and to be under Malaysia, Singapore will become as rotten as Malaysia too. Malaysia is apparently a bad and poor country, and because of Singapore prospering, Mahathir has the greed of taking over. I'm sure a lot of Malaysians, especially Chinese, don't like the Malaysian government. In Malaysia, the Chinese are forced to learn Malay. Is that what you call democracy? It's very authoritarian. Malaysia is a very authoritarian country, not democratic at all. They force Chinese to study Malay, that the language is not even recognized internationally. No benefit for the Chinese, but tax only get heavier and heavier every year for them. Plus, the Malaysian Chinese has to bribe the government official to stay in their business or set up their own business. Also, the Malaysian Chinese have been paying higher rental and operating costs, etc., until it's so hard for them to survive in Malaysia. There's no human equality and no human rights in Malaysia, and the government does things the way they like to make the country more corrupt. Malaysia is just a very messy and rotten place for cows who like to drink urine to stay. When Singaporeans went to Johor Bahru in Malaysia, we know what happened. When we were there, we saw that things and food were very cheap, and this not because the things are really cheap, but because we are rich to see things over there in Malaysia are very cheap, because we are rich to see them cheap. You get it? In fact, the things sold in Malaysia are very expensive for those who are living and working in Malaysia, and Malaysians are complaining about that. The houses and roads in Malaysia are not well maintained but rotten, cracked, potholes. When any flooding comes, the house will be broken easily. So my statement for the old man still not die yet, Mahathir, is if his country is so cheap and rotten, is he qualified to say that Singapore is part of Malaysia? That's ridiculous, right? As a matter of fact, he should advance Malaysia first before giving this kind of ridiculous idea. Just learn from China. China is so big and now it's prospering with so much advanced infrastructure, but Malaysia is still way back behind. The dog, like dog raising its head, looking the plane above and drooling. when it passed by the sky. It's a shame for Malaysia to have this kind of Mahathir and also the PM that only makes the country more and more shameless and disgraceful and also more corrupt. Hence, does Malaysia has the rights to say that Singapore is part of Malaysia? Leave down your comments, subscribe, like and share. Ciao.